People don't have any concept of what's coming. You know, we say, you know, Christians are going to start, you're going to lose your right to conscience. They have no idea what that means. Can you explain a little of what does that mean?
Yes. And I've been saying this for 35 years, and people would say to me, it's not going to happen in America. We have the Bill of Rights.
It's coming.
And I've written, and I've written, and I've spoken, and I cannot imagine my 7th, soon to be 8 grandchildren going to grow up in this culture where I escaped to come to America for freedom. Now we're losing our freedom completely. And the Christians, and I am pointing the finger at me as a pastor of a very large church, of a global ministry leading the way in 195 countries, radio and television.
Good for you.
And so I am pointing the finger that we, the pastors, have grown comfortable, and we valued our comfort and our love for sports and our financial security over and above the truth. And in the end, in all these rulings that are coming down the pike, the one that just came and the ones that are coming, are basically making us less and less conscious of the fact that the truth matters. And so they take words out of their context, such as equality and justice and love wins. They blow them around. They don't mean anything because the truth is the victim here.
And what is the truth?
The truth is what is the absolute truth, which is declared by God. God is the one who created a man and a woman to anatomically fit, and he said, this is it. This is my will for humanity. This is my design for humanity.
You've seen oppression in the Middle East.
Yes.
So you know what it looks like. Americans don't.
Yes.
Are you seeing the signs that the people like you, with your church, are going to come under oppression?
I have no doubt. I've been saying this for 28 years.
Right. And how many of the churches do you think will fold? How many churches do you think will say, you know what, just go along?
Right. If you can't fight them, join them.
Yes.
That's more common than you realize. Started in the mainline denominations, and I used to belong to one, started in the mainline denominations, and is now creeping into the evangelical church. There was a time when the word evangelical meant something.
Yeah.
Meant evangelion, the gospel, that is the truth, that I am the way, the truth, and the life. That is the gospel. That Jesus died for all, so whoever comes to him shall be saved. That is gone by the wayside. Now we got a prosperity gospel, we got a feel-good gospel, we got all kinds of stuff that has nothing to do with Christianity. It's a pseudo-Christianity. And that's why you ask me how many will fold. I think they're already folding. So many of them already folded. And that breaks my heart.
I was talking to a leader of a church, a very large church, and he said he thought 50% of congregants of every faith will walk out the door because it's going to get too hard.
It sure
It's going to get hard.
Yep.
Okay, so I had a caller today. I want to bring it back to the Middle East. I had a caller today who said to me, Glenn, what do I do? Now we're doing an event in 828. We're trying to just wake up our churches first and get our churches online.
Amen.
But you've been over there. What do we do? What's the best thing an American can do right now with ISIS? Because the government's not doing anything.
Now, can I tell you something very quickly that has happened in Egypt? And I just came back from there 3 weeks ago. I was in some of the most amazing experiences I've had. And I used to go every year and preach. But since the uprising, I have not been back. But then the leaders of the church has been inviting me.
Is good.
He was a wonderful guy. I'm looking forward to meeting him later this year.
I think he is the guy that so many people have prayed for.
Exactly.
And we've abandoned him.
That's exactly right. For 24/7 were prayer meetings all over Egypt, cross-denominational lines. 2 o'clock in the morning, you get to our church, people were crying. This is under Morsi, the Muslim Brotherhood president. People began to experience the pain, and I'm wondering when will we in America get to that point where we cry to God 24/7? And as a result, God answered their prayers, and 33 million people came to the streets of all the 27 provinces, not just in Cairo, but it's all over. 33 million. BBC said never in human history have that many people out in the streets in one night. And God raised up Sisi. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, I am too.
And he's a good man. I watch his speeches. They're very inspiring speeches. And he loves everybody. He loves the Christians and he loves the Jews. He loves everybody. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm praying for his safety, of course.
Yes.
And we all need to pray for his safety. But I'm wondering, will it get to that point when we're really economically on our knees like they did under, under the Muslim Brotherhood, and the Christians began to cry? And as a result, churches are continuing to pray. God is bringing hundreds of thousands of people to Christ,
Yeah.
who were not Christians.
Yeah. I think our biggest problem, and it's always, I mean, the Bible always tells the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. You read the Bible and you're like, these
Yeah.
people are so stupid. How do they not know? And then you look at it and you really start to think, and you're like, holy cow, it's us.
Me.
But the biggest problem is humility, and
Yeah.
until you're humbled. And I think the Lord's been kicking us in the head over and over and over again. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
And I think when this strife really happens, when the economic side falls apart,
Right.
people are not going to know what hit them.